What's up, everybody? It's Sam here from the Gambling Corner podcast. And before we get to your scheduled program, I'm here to tell you about Anchor. It's now easier than ever to start your own podcast. Their free app gives you everything you need to get your podcast off the ground. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or computer. And if you're worried about getting your podcast heard, don't worry. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. What's up, everybody? My name's Sam, and this is the Gambling Corner, brought to you by Fat Lad Sports. Today is Thursday, February the 25th, and on today's show we're going to break down the weekend's football. We'll also be joined by star of the show, Liam Doe, to talk about the Premier League games and give you some bets from at home and abroad. A slightly different show today. We're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to go through the Premier League games first and foremost, and then me and Liam have some picks that we both like from England and around Europe in the games this weekend. So the format of the show today is going to sound a little bit different from ones we've done previously. The thought behind it is that most people listening will be more interested in the Premier League games on the whole. And then what we'll do is we've each picked some things that we like, so we'll talk them through and we'll pick top 3, top 4, top 5 that we're going to put out as bets this weekend. Alright then, let's get him on. Here is Liam Doe. Hello, Bart.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
All good, mate. Ready to go again?
Yeah, ready to go again. Feels like only yesterday.
Literally.
Yeah. So, we weren't fantastic during midweek.
No, very hit and miss. We put a lot out there, to be fair. We didn't give too many specific picks. It was kind of, we'll give you all the ammo and you kind of shoot your shot. So, there was definitely winners in there. A couple of the games were heaven for us, like the Lazio Bayern game.
Yeah, well, that was up within half hour or so, wasn't it? So
exactly. And then there was a couple of other ones where we got shafted towards the end. So it was, like I said, very much hit and miss.
Yeah, but as I say, the way we went, it was 6 and 7. Dependent on how other people went, they might have gone better, they might have gone worse. So hopefully they went better than we did.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I've just explained in the intros that this is going to sound a little different to our usual ramble.
Yeah.
That we were going to go through the Premier League games and then go through some picks.
Yeah.
And see what we like. Just try something out. And if people have any feedback or anything, feel free to let us know.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice for everyone at the end of the pod if we just kind of round up our picks. And then for us as well, just so we don't give out picks that are kind of covering up with each other like we have done the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, whereas me and you are texting each other going, what are we waiting on?
Yeah, exactly. It'll just kind of clear everything up for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. So if we start with the Premier League then, on Saturday there is Manchester City and West Ham, Leeds and Villa, West Brom and Brighton, Newcastle and Wolves. I've written just something that I've, a little tidbit on each game.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there, really. So the thing I wrote on Man City West Ham was I think Man City will win, but I like West Ham to keep the score close, and I think they'll keep it respectable.
Yeah. Well, I've got down on mine, like you said, similarly. I've kind of tried to find something for every game.
Mm-hmm.
But under Manchester City West Ham, I've got right at the bottom, no value.
Right.
Because the odds in this game are atrocious.
Yes.
So, obviously, last, I think it's 12 league games in a row, City have won.
Yep.
last 10 meetings have been 9 City wins and 1 draw.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can really play too much on West Ham either. They're not very good against City, their record-wise anyway. They've been decent as of late.
Yeah.
But not good enough to play against an informed Manchester City side. I wouldn't want to put my money towards West Ham, to be honest.
No, well, I have got a pick on that game. A little off the ball kind of pick, but in terms of, I understand what you're saying in terms of straight wins and things like that, then there's not an awful lot of value in it.
No, well, even I had a little look towards bet builders and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I threw in just City win under the 3 City cards, which we've spoke about on previous podcasts. They've got a trend going.
Yeah.
And then cards with West Ham. I've put 6 out of 10 games over 0 cards, but that's not enough for me to want to bet over for those.
No.
And then just defensively, Man City have been very good defensively recently, so I even tried to put in under a couple of goals for West Ham as well, and that came out at 8-13. So that's the reason behind me writing no value in capital letters at the bottom there. I couldn't even find a bet builder close to even money, really.
All right, and then we got West Brom and Brighton. The only thing I wrote there was Brighton or draw, and I don't know if I'm suffering from a little bit of recency bias, but Brighton were very hard done by on Monday night against Palace. They absolutely fucking annihilated Palace. Palace for 88.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or whenever Benteke scored the goal at the end. So, yeah. West Brom recently are a little bit tighter. So I think if you're going to go anything there, I would say Brighton or draw. Give yourself the 2 results option.
Yeah, well, that's one of my 5 picks.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we'll go over that one in the second half.
Yeah, we'll leave that one.
Yeah, I'll drop into my statistics and stuff towards the end of the pod when we go through our actual picks.
Yeah, and then we have Leeds and Villa. I just wrote both teams to score. Both teams to score happens to be one of my picks on that game. So
yeah.
Again, unless you want to add anything right now.
Yeah, I haven't actually got a pick on the game either, but over 1.5 goals or something to do with goals there.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to pick a straight winner on that one. I don't think.
No, well, there was one stat that I found quite interesting. Leeds haven't drawn at all in their last 16. And have only drawn twice in their 25 Premier League games this year.
Yeah.
So, obviously, with a double chance, you tend to go like Leeds or draw or Villa or draw, but you can actually go Leeds or Villa. So, potential bet builder in there over a couple of goals, then Leeds or Villa, and then you're kind of sitting there not rooting for one or the other. It could go either way.
No, a goal for either side doesn't ruin you.
Exactly. So,
yeah.
And then cards wise as well, there's over 1 cards in Villa games recently 8 out of 10 times, and over 1 cards in Leeds games 9 out of 10. So you could even shove in over 1 card in the game, and that would boost it up as well with the bet builder.
Yep. But, and then if that was everything you got, sorry to step on your toes.
No, that was it from me anyway.
And then Newcastle Wolves, I've just written Wolves.
You've written Wolves. I've got a pick on that one as well.
Okay, well, I obviously being a Newcastle fan, I take more of a vested interest in their games, and they really are down in the dumps. And without Callum Wilson, they don't look a threat. There seems their only thing is give the ball to Almiron or St Maximum, and hope to Christ that they can do something with it. And if they don't, we're fucked.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got a pick on that. Same as the West Brom game. We'll go along and speak about that in a bit, but I'm sure you'll be able to back me up with that one as well, I would have thought.
Yeah, I imagine so. And then on Sunday, we have Palace and Fulham, Leicester and Arsenal, Spurs and Burnley, Chelsea, Man United, and Sheffield United and Liverpool.
Yeah.
So again, after watching Palace again with maybe with a little bit of recency bias, I've just said Fulham or draw, because Fulham have got the tails up at the minute. Palace haven't looked fantastic when I've watched them. Again, I watched the game on Monday night and they just look toothless. But I feel like Fulham or draw would offer you a little bit more value. Again, because you're giving yourself the double result there.
Yeah. There's for there being a few good games this week. There's a load of shitters. A
You're
lot
not
of
wrong.
these just scream out under, just goals wise. It's just So I looked into it a little bit, and under 4 goals. Last 10 Palace games happened 8 times out of 10. They haven't scored more than 2 in 17 games.
Yeah.
Fulham under 4 goals has happened 13 out of 14 games, and under 3 is actually 13 out of 15 games. So under there is looking good as well. They've only won 2 out of their last 12 away games. So they're in better form, and if I had to pick one out of the 2, I'd go Fulham. But if I was betting the game, I'd be looking under again.
It also feels like a bit of a reach, doesn't it? All
yeah.
those kind of things, because you're not sure which Fulham side's going to show up. The Fulham side from the last 5 or 6 games, or the Fulham side from the first half of the season. So yeah, I wouldn't be touching that to be honest.
No, if there was anything there, like I said, probably under goals of some sort, because I couldn't imagine it's going to be a great game. Yeah. But yeah, there's not enough stats for me to think, I'm going to throw my money in on this game.
No, and then we got to Leicester Arsenal. I think the obvious choice is Leicester, and I think you'd be with Barney and the rest of the public on picking Leicester there if you did pick Leicester, but there wasn't an awful lot that stuck out to me in that game either. So
no,
it was just a straight Leicester for me.
Yeah, there was only one thing I kind of looked at, just going through the bet builder, seeing if you could get some decent odds anywhere. One stuck out for me. I don't know if you had a thought on this. Leicester over 1 goal is 5-4. So obviously needing 2 Leicester goals, and I kind of looked into it a little bit more. Over their 25 games this season, in 14 games they've scored more than 1. So 14 out of 25, not the best percentage, still over half. And then I looked into against the big, or so-called Big 6. 5 times out of 7 they've actually scored over 1. And then they've won their last 5 out of 7 as well, including against Liverpool, Chelsea and Man United. And then when scoring twice or more at home, which has happened 6 times, they've won 5 or drawn 1. So
I like the sound of that, to be honest with you.
If you do think, I think it's quite good value at 5-4, over even money for them to score 1 or more. The 1 draw was against United, so they didn't beat United. They beat Liverpool and Chelsea. United was the draw. So just pointing out that against the big sides, they do tend to perform anyway at home. But yeah, if you're going to go with the over 1 goal, which looks like it's got value, you might as well put Leicester to win it either way. Because if they score 2, I'd fancy them to win either way.
Chances are.
And that goes from 5-4 if you play with Leicester to win as well. That jumps up to 6-4.
Yeah, that's a nice little double, that.
So it's not too bad, really. And then Arsenal lost 3 of the last 4, including 2 away against Villa and Wolves. So it's not great, really, away from home.
No, and Leicester have also got a lot of Champions League points to play for, haven't they? You know, if their aspirations are to get in the top 4, then playing Arsenal at home is a game you would hope that they'd win.
Arsenal just in the top half. If you look at the game, you'd fancy Leicester, really, wouldn't you? So
And what are the odds just on the Leicester win? I never even looked at that. Let's have a look. See
that double that I just said about actually is different to what I said. Is that if you play over 1 goal, Leicester, that's 5-4, and then if you play that as well as Leicester or draw, it's not even Leicester to win, that goes up to 6-4. So
yeah, I was just seeing that Leicester best price are 6-4. Best price at Paddy Power. So there's 6-4 pretty much across the board there.
So you could
29-20 at Sky Bet, 7-5 at Betway, but 6-4 across the board.
Yeah, so
looks like the price you're going to get.
If you're thinking of playing Leicester, I'd probably go down the Bet365 route and play Leicester over 1 goal, and then Leicester or draw, which would be 6-4, rather than just playing Leicester to win, because then that could be a 2-2 draw. You're still cashing for the same price as what you would Leicester win, and then obviously the draw wouldn't come in for you either way.
Yeah, you've got a lot more variance.
So it could work out either way there. But yeah, just initially looking at that Leicester over 1 goal, it did tease me a little bit there.
That's not a bad just for a pick
exactly.
on its own.
I was surprised that was over even money, to be honest.
Yeah, me too, especially at home, unless there's any extenuating circumstances like they think Vardy's going to be out, or there might be because we've recorded earlier, we've hit the value, and that will come in as more money comes in on Leicester towards Sunday.
One that goes down in price, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's something to look at, because we hit on that, didn't we, last weekend with the Tottenham and West Ham game.
Yeah, we called that
one. Where the prices went all over the joint from where they were when we got them, and we were right in saying that, you know, the public money came in on Spurs and pushed their price down, which then pushed West Ham up. So yeah, that might be something to look out for. Is just keep an eye on that and see if anything happens with just the price of a Leicester goal. If that stays above evens, that might be one just to put out on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, even money, I think a lot of money is going to be going on Leicester either way. So like you said, that's going to drop down. So if you're thinking about playing Leicester, and just my initial thinking against Arsenal at home, they tend to turn up against the big sides anyway. And Harvey Barnes has been banging in goals. James Maddison's playing really well, and you've got Vardy there as well. So over 1 goal, over even money, I think that's a solid pick there, just on its own.
Yeah, I agree, and I think you're absolutely spot on with your theory there, because I think the money's going to come in on Leicester on Saturday night and Sunday. So it's another one. It's a play early one, isn't it?
So
I think
if you listen to that and you like the thinking of Leicester over 1 goal like we do, I'd play that as soon as possible.
Okie dokie, and then from what should be a cracker, really, Leicester Arsenal to Tottenham and Burnley, and I don't want to pick a winner on that. There'll be value in a draw.
Yeah, like I said previously, for as many good games as there are, there's a few like this that just scream under again, to be honest, and they're just some really shocking games. I had to look into it again with the bet builders, and I went for, this isn't a pick, but I'm just trying to give something for everyone on every game. I had a look into under 4 goals in the game total, which has happened 8 out of 10 last Spurs games. And Burnley under 4 has been 14 out of 15 games. So both high percentages there.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I went for under 2 Burnley goals in there as well. So as well as under 4 goals total, under 2 goals for Burnley. They've only scored more than twice in 12 away games. And just the general speaking, I'm not 100% sure. I've got the injury list up at the moment, but I believe Chris Wood has been out. He's 50% at the moment. Ashley Barnes is 75%.
What, 75% out?
to be playing. So
I say yes,
Chris Wood,
yes.
50-50. Ashley Barnes, 75. They didn't play midweek, and they looked like they missed him. I think who they start, Vidra as well as someone else.
So in terms of if that was the injury report for the NFL, Barnes would be probable, but Woods would be questionable.
So,
just for my own
Barnes
brain there.
More than likely to be back and would probably play with either Jay Rodriguez or Vidra. But I think that helps even more with the fact they've scored twice in 12 away games. More than once, twice in 12 away games. I can't see them doing it, especially if one of the main strikers is 50-50 and the other's probable to play.
Yeah.
I think I like the under 2 Burnley goals in that even more. And then Spurs over 0 cards was the final part in that, and that's happened 9 out of their last 10 games. So I like that one. And then, so just for that pick, it's under 4 total goals in the game, under 2 Burnley goals, over 0 Spurs cards. That comes out at 5-4, which is decent odds already. Then if you to throw in over 0 Burnley cards as well, that's actually happened 9 out of 10 times as well. So you could put that one in there as well, and that jumps up to 17-10.
Yeah, so that's nice,
it's
isn't
not
it?
bad either way. It's not one of my picks, but trying to give something on every game that doesn't scream goals to me. Spurs, it might be one of them games Spurs turn up and win 3-0, and then this still cashes if it's still under 4 goals, isn't it? Burnley haven't scored, which I can't really see.
No, but you can see that being a grind, can't you? You can see it being 0-0 at half-time or 1-0, or Burnley nick their goal before half-time.
Yeah.
Or, do you know what I mean? I don't see it being open and free-flowing.
Especially the way Spurs have been playing recently. It's defensive, and whenever they come up against a side that they have to try break down, they do tend to struggle. So it doesn't scream goals. Under Burnley goals as well. And then potential cards for Spurs or Burnley, whichever way you want to play it. There is money there to be made on the bet builders. But yeah, that's it from me on Spurs.
And then we go to Chelsea, Man United, and this was going to be one of my picks, but I didn't like it enough. It was both teams to score, I think, would be the one that I'd give out for that game. I just didn't like it enough to put any weight behind it.
It's similar to me, really, because I was trying to go through my top 5 picks, and this would probably be number 6, to be honest. It just missed out. It's one of those for me. United are very much hit and miss. Chelsea only 6 games under Tuchel. I don't know where I'd like to go. I did manage to scrape together a bet builder, which I do like. Like I said, it was probably going to be my 6th pick if I had to have one. I'll go through.
Yeah.
No, I'll go through it with you though, and just see if you kind of agree with my thinking. So I was going to play under 3 Chelsea goals. For a start, they've won 4, drew 2 in the league with Tuchel since he's joined. They haven't scored 3 once, which was my general thinking there. So under 3 goals looked like an all right play, especially against a solid enough Man U side. And then over 0 cards for Chelsea as well. That's only happened 5 times out of the last 8. But against big 6 sides, it's happened all 7 times this season. So when they tend to play better sides, they're obviously picking up more fouls and picking up more yellow cards. So I thought over 0 cards for Chelsea would be fairly safe. United are in good form as well. So this was where the money came into it on the bet builder side. They don't seem to think that United are going to score. If over 1 was really good odds, and over 2 was like 2-3 to 1. So.
And what did you get for over 0?
Was there anything on that? Part of my bet builder. So I'm not sure what it was as a single, not enough to play anyway. But I look.
No, but the caveat would be that Chelsea have have tightened up on defence,
they've conceded
haven't they?
2 since Tuchel's been there in the league. But I didn't want to play United under just because the Fernandes, Rashford, Cavani, potentially, if he's there. I don't want to play under United because when they turn up, they're a very good side. Fernandes pops up with a goal here, there and everywhere. So they've scored over 0, which I've put in 10 times out of 12 away from home. They're unbeaten in their 12 away games, winning 8. So I definitely didn't want to play against United because that away form is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I played cards as well for them over 0, which has happened 9 times out of 10. And again, 7 out of 7 times against Big Six. So altogether, there's over 0 cards for Chelsea, over 0 cards United, over 0 goals United. So you only need 1 United goal there, and then under 3 Chelsea. So that could be a whole host of scorelines for you, and that'd come in 1-0 United, a 2-1 United,
definitely.
1-1, 2-2, and that still comes in there, and that's over even money.
Yep.
So
no, that's not bad then, is it? You can almost watch that and enjoy it without thinking, come on, I need a goal from X, I need a goal from Y.
Score a goal, you haven't got to worry about... As long as
Chelsea we're well in,
aren't we? Mad or tear up and score 3, Mason Mount hat-trick, Werner finally finds his shooting boots. More times than not, you can sit there and be fairly chilled out. A lot of these times, these big games get a lot of hype and end up being a shit game anyway.
Yeah, that I agree on.
I like that pick, just not enough to put into my top 5, but there's definitely something there as well. And if you do fancy United, like I said, their away record is very good. You're getting really good odds on Man U, goals or just to win. Yeah. So it's a good one. It's a hard one to call for the bookies. They're not expecting too many goals, but if you like United, there's a lot of money there.
Yeah, and do you think that Chelsea, after beating Atletico in the week, people will be more inclined to bet Chelsea?
Potentially, I think I don't know. We tried to call it midweek, and we said Atletico would win. Didn't expect Chelsea to play as well as they did defensively. So
no, they're excellent, weren't they? In fairness,
it's just because Tuchel's been there, not enough games really to kind of call it.
Yeah, there's not enough sample size, is there?
Just the fact they haven't scored 3 yet under Tuchel. They seem solid at the back. It's still just the Southampton game last week. They don't seem like they're going to score too many. So I feel like it's going to be a tight, cagey affair. But it's just the fact that United could turn it on at any point with the players they've got. I didn't want to play Chelsea or United. You don't know which side's going to turn up here, really.
No. And then the last game of the weekend is Sheffield United and Liverpool. And now I have a pick on this that, as I said to you, I really like.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. But all I'd written about this was I think Liverpool will win, but I think it will be close. I initially liked Liverpool on the -1 handicap. I thought my simple thinking was that Sheffield United will have to go and try and win the game. They play with these high centre-backs and high full-backs, and there's not many better sides at picking off teams than Liverpool. But when I dug into it a bit, as we'll get to later on, I found something on Sheffield United that I absolutely loved. Yeah. So I'll leave that there. I think Liverpool will win the game, but I think it will be close. I'm
thinking to you. I've gone, like I messaged you before, we didn't want to have similar picks, so I went away from this game. I did initially have something that I liked. And again, it's kind of under goals. It was under a couple of Sheffield United goals. They've only scored once, twice in 25 games. So I like that. Even with Liverpool's shaky defence, I think that's where they can get their confidence from, a clean sheet at Bramall Lane. And then Sheffield United defensively, only one clean sheet this season. I literally just put in there over 0 Liverpool goals. So under 2 Sheffield United, over 0 Liverpool. So you're only needing a Liverpool goal. And they've done that 19 out of 25 games. You expect them to score against Sheffield United. They have in all 3 of the games since they've been promoted. And also, where I got a little bit of juice from it, over 0 cards for Liverpool has happened 9 times out of 10, but that boosted that bet builder up to even money. So, again, you don't have to sit there worrying too much unless Sheffield United go on a tear up. They're under... No, I can't see.
No, which I can't see.
Them in this weekend or anyone like that. So, under 2 goals, Sheffield United only need 1 Liverpool goal and then 1 Liverpool card at even money. You can sit there fairly comfortably, and I think that would probably come in as well. Like you said, I can't see there being too many goals. Liverpool are a little bit harder to call. Like just last week, for an example, Leipzig go and win the game 2-0 away from home. Looks like a brilliant win. Go and play Everton at home and lose 2-0 and don't look like the same side. That's the only thing that would scare me a little bit. But with my bet, with that one, all you need is over 0 Liverpool goals. So if they turn up and score 4 or 5, that's covered either way. So
then all the more the merrier.
Thinking at even money, I thought that was quite a good price.
Yeah. All right. Well, if we take our break, and then these lovely people will hear
Southampton on Monday night, which is classed as this game week as well.
Okay, well, did you do anything for that? I didn't even know there was a Monday night
because I'm quite hot on the fantasy on the game weeks, and that was classed as one. So I did look into it a little bit. I think, is that one of my picks as well? That's not one of my picks. So I'll just go through the thinking quickly if you haven't got anything on it.
I have nothing on it. I didn't even know this game existed until 10 seconds ago.
So Everton lost 4 of the last 5 at home, including losses to Fulham and Newcastle, which is tough at the moment, especially the Newcastle one. And then Southampton recently, like we said, previous pod, went until they fucked us over against Chelsea and managed a draw. They have been terrible of late. Last 10, 1-1, drawn 2, lost 7. So I thought there was, again, bet builder. Under 4 goals I liked in total. Under 4 in last 10 Everton games, 8 times out of 10. Southampton, 7 times out of 10. One of those being the 9-0. Can't see that happening here. And then over 0 cards for Everton, over 0 cards for Southampton. Over 0 cards for Everton's actually happened 13 times in a row, which is a very nice streak. And over 0 cards for Southampton has happened 10 times in a row. So under 4 goals in the game total, over 0 cards Everton, over 0 cards Saints is over even money as well. So I thought that was quite a good price. Considering the statistics,
that's quite a nice pick.
13 in a row trend and a 10 in a row trend for the cards, as well as, like I said, 7 out of the 10 Southampton have been under 4. Their last 8 away games, 6 out of 8 have been under 4. Obviously, one of those being the 9-0 battering. Everton not the best at home, under 4 goals, 8 times out of 10. There's value there in that one, I think. But yeah, that's all I've got on there. So if you're ready to go.
Well, that's a nice little pick for a game
it's not too bad.
I didn't even know was happening.
So that might be one to come have a look at on Monday, depending on how the weekend's gone. You can always pop back on and have a little listen to that, because that looks like quite a solid pick at over even money. But like you said earlier, that's one of those that I've got it at 23 to 20 now. You bet that on Monday, that could have dropped down under even money.
Yeah, I imagine it'll come in. Yeah,
on Monday.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised
The
if
only
that was 8
problem
to
with that
11
one,
come
obviously,
Monday.
the cards looks pretty nailed on with the streaks. Just the under goals sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you only need a 3-1 somewhere, but just with the two sides at the moment, Southampton didn't look great against Chelsea. They look very good defensively, which helps us. But going forward,
No.
Minamino scored a lovely goal.
Yep.
Danny Ings hasn't scored in a little while. He's been in and out of the side with injuries. And Everton obviously scored 2 on the weekend against Liverpool, but that's, you'd probably say, you're coming up against a better defence in Southampton than what Liverpool are at the moment. So,
yeah, I think so currently. I don't think that's a stretch.
But I reckon that would probably drop in price. There we go.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll take our belated break, and these lovely people will hear some more of me talking again. And then we'll be, as if by magic, we are back.
Back again.
Back once again with the ill behaviour. So, yeah, going into our picks, I must start by saying that you have outshone me on this because you have 5 picks, I have 4. We've also got a pick on it's not really a pick, it's more of how's the best way to phrase it? A fish and chip bet or a quarter unit bet, shall we say, from my friend Gavin, who's a Nottingham Forest fan, and they play Derby tomorrow night. So he's given me a little bet builder there that comes in at 18 to 1.
Yeah, it looks very tasty from someone in the know.
Yeah, well, again, I take more weight from fans of teams.
Yeah.
Like him, where he watches them on the regular and keeps abreast of what they do and stuff like that. So if I just go over his little bet builder, which was both teams to score and Knockhart and Figueiredo to be carded, which comes in at 18 to 1. Like I say, if it's like a quarter of your unit, if your standard stake is a £10 stake, say, even if you want to chuck a couple of quid on that, then you're going to get a nice little return on that one.
Yeah.
And it also gives you ammunition to just watch the game. It gives you a reason to watch it, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's more of a horse racing fan, and he has said to us that I think it's Cheltenham coming up in a few weeks. He'll have some picks for us for Cheltenham.
Happy days.
So that might be nice to add into it. I don't know whether we're going to get him to grow a pair and come on or not. I don't know. We might just be sent some bets from him for Cheltenham. So hopefully, if we publicly call him out,
he might.
Then maybe he'll come on and talk to us about it and educate us a little bit in handicapping the horses.
If not, if he gives us the picks and they all win, fair play. Don't have to grow a set. That's fine.
No, that's fine. If he wants to give us some winners, then that's absolutely fine. I don't care what he does.
Don't mind that at all, Gavin.
No. Right. So you have 5 picks. I have 4 picks. So do you want to start with your 5th pick, and we'll go in reverse order from worst to most liked bet?
Right. Okay. So my 5th pick is just a single, just a team to win. Actually, even money. And I'm dipping into the Italian league for this.
Right.
Obviously, Spanish league sorted us out nicely last week with our 6-2 record and with the bet builders and the cards, etc., etc. But some of those games this week are tricky ones. I did think about playing against Barcelona. They've got a tricky game against Sevilla.
Yeah, well, I had something for that for a little while, and then I didn't like it enough to do it. I did like both teams to score in that, but again, I didn't like it enough.
I liked Sevilla at 9-4, but then I thought there was a certain legend called Leo Messi on the other side who seems to be turning it on.
Yes.
In the league, so I didn't want to hit on that just in case he turns up again.
Yeah.
But I've gone into the Italian league for this one, and it's just a team to win. So I've gone In the Bologna versus Lazio game, I've got a
Yep.
Lazio away win at even money, which I thought was quite good because they're flying at the moment. They've won 7 of their last 8, only losing to Inter Milan, which are top of the table at the moment and flying themselves.
Yes.
They've had 4 clean sheets in them 8 games.
Yeah.
And away from home, their record seems to be quite good as well. Their record's 6 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses away from home.
Yeah.
But the losses came against Inter Milan, AC Milan, and Sampdoria very early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So they're hot in form at the moment. So I'm similar to the midweek when we played Watford and we played Sunderland and we played Swansea, hot in form.
Mm-hmm.
Even money, I like this a lot.
Yeah.
I looked onto the other side, obviously looking at Bologna. Their home record, 4 wins, 3 draws, 4 losses, not too bad. But then you look against the top 6 sides. I don't know if you've looked into the Italian league table, but it kind of gets cut off at 6.
Right.
So the top 6 sides have only actually played 4 at home.
Right.
But they've drawn 1 and lost 3.
Mm-hmm.
And they've only kept 3 clean sheets in the last 14.
Yep.
So going with my basis of midweek as well, picking the form side as well as their good away record. Bologna struggling at home against the top sides in that top 6, Lazio being one of those. I like Lazio at even money.
Okie dokie.
So that would be my 5th pick.
That's your 5th pick. Right. So my 4th pick then was the Leeds and Villa both teams to score. And again, I it was kind of a last-minute jobby, and I didn't put an awful lot of weight into the research and stuff, but 33 of 57 games this season with Leeds and Villa are over 2.5. So you've got Leeds with 17 times in 28, they've gone over 2.5, and Villa 16 of 27. So you add that up, and that comes in at 59.25% of the time.
Yeah.
It was just when we were texting back and forth, and you go, and you were like, I got my fucking 5 picks, and I was like, oh shit, I've got 3. So I had a little look through it, and that was the one out of them all that I liked the best.
Yeah.
Although it's not a particularly weighted pick. I do, as you said earlier on, I do think there'll be goals in that game because, you know, the way that Leeds play and Villa are primed for a goal or 2.
Yeah, well, hopefully in that game, Grealish is back as well.
But the second coming of Christ, Jack Grealish.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah, that he ain't. But there you go. That's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, he turns up for the Villa, to be fair to him. So just for your bet as well, that would probably help if he was there.
Yes, definitely. Again, that might be another one to wait on.
At the moment, he's currently 50-50 on my web page for the game. So if you did want
probable.
to play, so if you did want to play and wait until the team comes out, fair enough. But
yeah, I think that's probably the way to do it, isn't it? Is wait.
Yeah.
And I'm just checking here. Leeds Villa over 2.5 is total goals over 2.5. That's down at 8-13.
Yeah.
I think best price is at William Hill for that one. 3-5s and 4-7s are around. But again, that's not particularly close to the even money threshold that we like to go to. But
that's your 4th pick, and like I said, I've put a bit of pressure on with my 5 picks. Whether these 5 picks come in, I could put pressure on you and go 0-5, mate. So I wouldn't worry too much. But I think that one's just in there for one of your picks, an extra pick in there for you, which is highly probable that it would come in.
Yeah, but I think out of the 2 picks we've given so far, I think the one that we would put in would be Lazio over that, because you've done the research, whereas I just had a quick scramble round to make myself look a bit better.
No, yeah, that's fair enough.
and found a a near 60% trend.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, there wasn't an awful lot else I wanted to say about that. So if we go to your fourth pick.
Right, my fourth pick is a little bit closer to home for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Newcastle versus Wolves.
Yep.
So please let me know if you have any feelings against this. But at the moment, it's a bet builder. And the bet is under 2 Newcastle goals.
Yeah, well, I would take that straight to the bank.
Under 3 Wolves goals.
Yep.
Over 0 Wolves cards.
Yep.
Over 0 Newcastle cards, which comes out at 21-20. So just over your even money.
Yeah.
So going into the thinking, under 2 goals Newcastle, 8 times out of 10.
Yep.
At home this season, it's happened 8 times out of 12. In their last 6, where they've really been struggling, 5 times out of 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wolverhampton Wanderers, last 10 games, under 10, 8 times. Under 4, 8 times out of 10, sorry.
Yeah.
And they've only scored more than 2, 1 time out of 25 games.
Right.
So under 3 Wolves goals, if you bet that 25 times, that's come in 24 times. Which is
so under 3 Wolves goals, that was for,
under 3 goals, yeah. And then cards, dipping into the cards, over 0 cards for Newcastle, 7 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And then over 0 cards for Wolves, has happened 10 times out of 10. And then I kept going into it, and it's actually happened 18 times in a row, which is a hell of a trend. So last 18 games, Wolves have had a card. 7 times out of 10, Newcastle have had a card.
Yep.
Under 2 Newcastle goals, under 3 Wolves goals, 21-20. That's
my only concern with that one is, having watched Newcastle all season long, is that I don't think that they realise that they're in a relegation scrap. I think they feel like it's just going to be okay. And if they get through to April with being in touching distance, say, and then Callum Wilson comes back, I think they feel like they're going to be all right. And they don't look like they're up for a fight.
Right.
You know, they don't fly around, with the exception of Almiron, who runs his bollocks off every game.
Yeah.
They don't look like a side who is threatened by relegation. So my worry is that they seem to, just going off memory, they either seem to get very few cards, or they seem to get 3 or 4. So I think it just depends on how this goes. If, for instance, I don't think Newcastle are going to win, but if Wolves went 2-0 up early, say, that then knocks the fight out of them.
Okay.
The little fight that they have in them, because they don't seem to have a lot at the moment. That's just from watching Newcastle. But again, your trends, if I'd fancy someone in that side to get a booking, whether it be especially one of the fullbacks like Kraft, if he's playing, because he seems to get done on the outside quite a lot and then have to make a challenge and doesn't get there and then gets booked. Things like that. Isaac Hayden, that would be another one. If, when the lineups come out, if Isaac Hayden is playing, then I would like that an awful lot more, because he's in a similar mould to Czech Tiotti, where you can pretty much bank on him getting booked.
Yeah, okay.
So again, I would feel like if Hayden is playing, and he's playing in central midfield as opposed to centre half, that really ups our chances of over 1 Newcastle card. And also, there's been a lot of calls for the big fella, Andy Carroll, to start up front.
All right, yeah.
So I would also like that even more if we got to the time when the lineups are announced and Carroll and Hayden were playing. I would like it a bit less if it was Gale or Joel Linton. Joel Linton went off injured against Man United. I don't know if he's going to play or be involved. So that would be my only concern. If they go with Gale, then I like it a little bit less as if they go with Carroll. But if Hayden is playing in central midfield, then I would like it, especially if he's alongside Shelvey, because Shelvey's primed to just pull someone back because he's too slow.
Yeah.
And one of the fullbacks to get a card, but I would like it. If it got to when the lineups came out and Carroll and Hayden were playing, I would be more inclined to play over one. But as it stands, I like it at 0.
Yeah, well, yeah, so it's over 0 in my bet, and that's happened 7 times out of 10. But yeah, what you're saying is if a few of those kind of players are likely to get booked, you like it even more.
Yeah, because they're kind of in that old school mould, aren't they? You know, Hayden flies around and for a challenge and stuff, and you know, Carroll's likely to get booked for jumping with his elbows, and you know, little things like that Gale perhaps wouldn't do. You know, I wouldn't look into. You know, there's a few players in there that I think you can discredit from getting a booking, like Almiron and St Maximin and the 2 centre halves. Yeah. But I definitely feel like the 2 sitters in midfield and the fullbacks, and if Carroll plays, I would love that bet.
Okay. That is my 4th pick, that bet builder.
And what price did you say that was?
21 to 20, so just over your even money.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I think I like it if you're going to play it now with the over cards, but if you're worried about value and wanted to bump up the value a little bit, if you look at the sides before kickoff, and again, if Carroll's name is on there and Hayden's name is on there, then I like that even more, because theoretically they're going to hump the ball up for Carroll, which leads to more 50-50 challenges and, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
So my 3-weight pick was Norwich on Sunday lunchtime to score 2 or more goals, should I say. Again, it's just under that as an 8 to 13 pretty much everywhere. In 8 of 11 of Wickham's last games, 8 of 11, of Wickham's last games, they've conceded 2 or more. The last 2 games they haven't done, where they won 1-0 at home to Reading and drew 0-0 away at Millwall. I just feel like it's a game that Wickham have to win and build on the momentum that they've created for the last few games. And having watched a bit of Norwich, they look very, very good on the break. The way that they sort of transition the ball from back to front is very, very quick. Obviously, Campbell in there and then Pookie in behind. I feel like Norwich will win the game. And I think I could see them winning, 3-1. So I fancy Norwich to score twice.
So is the bet over 1 Norwich goal?
Over 2. 2 or more. Sorry, 2 plus.
That's not too bad. Yeah. Even if from the outside looking in, even as a Town supporter, you got one side too good for the Championship. Like we said the other day, obviously sussed out the Championship, how to win it. Very much a yo-yo side. And then you got the other side, Wickham, who shouldn't even be there in the first place in that league. Only got promoted because of the points per game. And to say they're struggling would be an under.
Yes, well, I can't remember. I wrote down, Wickham are 8 points adrift, or they were when I did this work. They're 8 points adrift.
Yeah, I think the closest side to them is Sheffield Wednesday, and they started with, minus 10 points?
Yeah, something like that, weren't they?
Yeah, even without even looking at the stats, you got one side in Norwich who are high-flying, And then you got another side at the bottom really struggling. So without even looking at the stats, I think you'd fancy them for 2 or more. I think that's a solid pick there.
Yeah, and my other theory was that. See, I wrote this before Brentford played. So I wrote that they could be 9, 7, or 10 points clear of Brentford in second.
Yeah.
As happens, they are still 10 points clear, I guess, because they both won in the week, didn't they? So nothing's changed. So theoretically, if Norwich put the hard yards in now, they can all but guarantee their promotion, because I think there's 12 games left in the Championship. So you think, in the next few weeks, they could all but guarantee the fact that they're going to go up. So that was my thinking behind that, is as well, they have the best striker in the Championship, probably, in Pookie. I know that Ivan Toney's going to have something to say about that at Brentford, but yeah, I don't see how Norwich, 1, aren't going to beat Wickham, and 2, they don't beat them comfortably because of the way they play.
No, yeah, I like the pick.
So that was my 3-weight pick. So we go to your 3-weight pick, I guess.
3 pick is on the West Brom Brighton game. And the bet for this one is under 4 goals total in the game. Over 0 cards West Brom. Over 0 cards Brighton. So my thinking for that is this game screams under already. West Brom haven't scored more than 2 all season. They've scored more than once, only 3 times at home. Their record at home is abysmal. 1 win, 4 draws, 7 losses. The only thing with this is their next 2 is Brighton at home, Newcastle at home. So if they do, well, they obviously need the points, but if they're going to pluck anything out, it will be now. They really need to pull their finger out. But I still can't see them scoring goals, even if they nick a 1-0, maybe a 2-0. Obviously, Brighton played quite well the other day. But I still can't see too many goals in there. And then Brighton's away record, 4 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses. Not the best in the world. Last 10 games, 9 times out of 10, it's been under 4, sorry. They haven't scored over 1 goal in their last 8. Should have against Palace, didn't. Obviously struggling to score goals at the moment. And then the cards aspect, over 0 cards for Brighton. That's happened 8 times in their last 10. Over 0 cards for West Brom. That's happened 9 times in a row. So under 4 goals in the game, over 0 cards West Brom, over 0 cards Brighton. And that's similar to what we said. You can watch that game. I wouldn't recommend watching that game unless you.
No, I don't think you could pay me to watch that one.
Unless you've got a bet on it. I'll have a bet on it, and I still won't watch the game.
No, I suppose you'll be watching.
I'll probably
Gillette
be listening to Ipswich after us talking about how shite they are against the best sides, and then picking up a win, which is a classic.
Yeah, it was fucking sod's law, that, wasn't it?
I won't be watching the West Brom Brighton game. I do like this pick. That's my third weight pick.
Okay, and
that's
what
21 to 20. So yeah,
just
over even money. I'm surprised at it because.
Yeah, I didn't think that under goals in those games, especially with 2 sides
under 4
like that.
Goals
especially West Brom
and a couple of cards in a West Brom Brighton game.
Yeah,
more times than not, it's going to come in, and hopefully the trends work in our favour again.
Yeah. Right, so on to my number 2 weight pick. Right, now I have got Saturday lunchtime to kick off West Ham, or Man City and West Ham. Now I've got West Ham +2, which the best odds are at Betway, which is 23 to 20, but you can get 11 to 10s and even monies. They're widely available. So West Ham have played 31 games this season. if you had given them a +2 handicap, they would have won 26 of those. 15 games West Ham have scored 2 or more. 26 times they've scored 1 or more goals. So I like West Ham to score a goal.
Right.
But with the +2, that gives us 2 goals cushion.
Yeah. So
I like the stats for that, and for a worst case scenario, for us to lose our bet, you're looking at a 3-1, 3-0, 2-0 West Ham, 2-0 Man City, and I fancy West Ham for a goal. I fancy their physicality from set pieces and things like that, and whatnot. I like them to at least bag 1.
Just with the NFL side of it, obviously we do a lot of handicapping with that. Say it was a 3-1, would that not be a push? And then you get your stake back?
No, because there's a handicap draw.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can get +2 West Ham, -2 Man City, +2 Man City, handicap draws. So unfortunately, we can't push.
Right.
So that's why that wasn't my number 1 weighted pick, was because we can't push.
Yeah.
It's either going to be a yes, no, but I still fancy West Ham to score against City. If West Ham lose 1-0, then we win.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I get where you're coming from. The only problem that I have with that one is you don't know what kind of Man City side is going to be out. It could play into your favour, where they play a couple of the younger lads or whatever, or it could play against and they play the De Bruynes, the Sterlings, they play everyone, let's say, and they turn it on like they can do on a Saturday and score 3 or 4.
Okay, well, to your point there, if I just have a look at their upcoming fixtures...
I know they've got another home game in the week, haven't they?
They are playing midweek, yes. They're playing on Tuesday. And then they've got the Manchester Derby the following Sunday.
So they could potentially play the big boys now, rest them midweek, and then play them. But to be fair, Pep rotates every single week. It's a fantasy football nightmare, he is. It's every single week he's changing. Either Cancelo's coming out, Diaz comes out. It's just hard to call with it. They haven't conceded more than 1 in 16. But like you said, if they do concede 1, even a 2-1 home win, that does come in, doesn't it? So I like it, but it's just the Man City that scares me a little bit, because you just don't know when they're going to turn it on. They're obviously one of the best sides in Europe, and if they do, they're class. But then again, I didn't want to play the money with Man City. The odds are crap, and I was a bit fearful of West Ham as well, because they have been good. So yeah, there's definitely potential there.
Okay, so as I say, that was my number 2 pick. So if we go, what are we waiting on now?
I've
Your
got
2
pick here, and my 2 pick is actually a double.
Yeah,
it's Peterborough to beat Wigan, and Napoli to beat Benevento Calcio. So that comes out just under even money. Peterborough are now top of League One. They've got games in hand against Hull, who are third, I believe. But they're actually one of the informed sides in the league. So, like I said during the week and earlier in this pod, this is more playing the teams that are in form. They've won 7 of their last 10, which is a very good record. Won 7 of their last 8 at home. Only drawing the other as well. So unbeaten at home, won 7 of 8. And they've got 6 clean sheets in the last 7 as well. So obviously very good in form at the moment. Wigan have actually lost 6 of their last 10, so complete opposite end of the spectrum. Only 2 clean sheets.
Yeah.
Their record away is a bit misleading as well, because there's 5 wins, 2 draws, 7 losses. But those 5 wins, teams in the table are 19th, 20th, 23rd, 17th, and then they've got a decent one against Sunderland, who were 8th at the time. But you look at the away record, that might scare you a little bit. But like I said, 23rd, 20th, 19th, 17th.
Once you dive into
it's not good wins, really. And
no, as their competition improves, their form
playing against top of the league away from home, mentally, they're not really going to be there, losing 6 of their last 10. And knowing Peterborough are very good at home. I like Peterborough a lot, but obviously Peterborough by itself, not enough.
What are they just on their own?
Me. It was 2-5, actually. So not enough to play. Well, unless you've got a lot of money to throw on, you throw 50 quid on, you're getting 70 quid back. So it's not worth it. The other team in there is Napoli against Benevento Calcio. Napoli's record at home, they're also 2-5, by the way. Napoli's record at home, 7 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses. They've actually won their last 3 at home and lost their last 3 away. So you can tell where they are on the table because of this home form. In their last 3, they've actually kept a clean sheet as well. And then the opposite side of the spectrum, Benevento, no win in 7. They've only played 2 of the top 6 away from home, so they've got quite a tough record in anyway. But in those 2 games, they lost 5-2 and 4-0. So, and their record away from home is 4 wins, 2 draws, and 5 losses. But like I said, they haven't played any. They've played 2 of the big boys and got battered both times. So, Napoli needing to keep in touch with the top 4 because, like I said earlier, the top 6 it just cuts off. So. They obviously need to win their home games because they're struggling away from home. Got a very average side away from home. So I've got Napoli in there to win against Benevento and Peterborough to win against Wigan as a double. That's
which pays just under even money.
So 1. So you
can't get much fucking closer to even money, really.
And I think that'll probably dive down in price as well. That might go down to 0.8, 0.75 as people put their accas on.
Yeah, well, I would agree with you on that. Because people will look down the foreign leagues and go,
yeah, exactly.
Napoli
so they're going to be a couple that, like we said, La Liga, Premier League, there's not too many there to kind of put in your accas. So Napoli's going to be one to put on. Peterborough at home when they're top of the league playing, I think, Wigan, who are 19th or 20th. I think they might be in the relegation zone, actually, so it could be even worse than that. So those 2 are probably going to drop down in price. So I'd get on that at the moment, just under even money. Peterborough win, Napoli win.
Okie dokie. No, I like that one an awful lot.
Well, it's one of those.
It's a professional handicap.
It's got everything going for it. It might be one of those, but yeah, that's my 2-way pick.
Well, I think that without a shadow makes our top 5, top 4, top 3 plays that we're going to put out.
Good stuff.
Definitely. So my number 1 pick for this, and now I absolutely love this bet, is Sheffield United +2, which is 3-4 best odds at Betway. You know, it's 4-6, 8-13 is readily available. So, as I said earlier on, I started off this handicap by thinking I was going to be all in on Liverpool minus a goal. You know, it was a pure sort of gut play. One of them gut instinct plays. I feel like it's a nice bounce back spot for Liverpool after losing the derby last weekend. Sheffield United are primed to be picked off by Liverpool, and the pick on Liverpool -1 was 11-10. So I thought, right, I'm not gonna do this without delving into it. So I thought, once I started looking into it, nothing supported my gut instinct of Liverpool minus a goal. So there were no stats that really supported that on the Liverpool end. So when I looked at the Sheffield United stats, you'd think because they're bottom of the league, without looking into it, you'd say, oh, well, they've been hammered every week, haven't they? Right? So the paragraph I wrote here was, though bottom and likely bound for relegation, they've only been beaten 3 times in the league by 3 goals. That is the highest losing margin. It's 3 goals. They lost 4-1, 3-0 and 3-0. So, of their 29 games this season, 20 goals have been decided by... 20 games have been decided by 1 goal. So, if you put Sheffield United to have the +2 handicap on all of their games, they win 23 of 29, which is 79.3% of the time. And there's another stat there. I can't see it. So anyway, 23 of 29 games that Sheffield United would have won on the +2 handicap, with 20 of those 29 games decided by 1 goal. That was in wins or losses. That didn't incorporate, I think, 3 or 4 draws that Sheffield United have had this season.
I've got a stat that would probably help your cause as well. Obviously, earlier in the pod, I said about under 2 Sheffield United goals, over 0 Liverpool goals, over 0 Liverpool cards. The only reason that didn't make it into my top 5 picks was last 10 games, Liverpool have actually only scored in 4 of those games in the league. So obviously a 40%er, I'm not going to put that in as my top picks with a 40% trend. So that helps it a lot. So even if they do manage to score 1, the only opposite side to that is Sheffield United have only kept 1 clean sheet this season. But all that takes is, like you said, Liverpool win that 1-0. That's covering.
Yeah. Yeah, I really, when I looked at it and when I worked out that trend, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe genuinely how unfortunate Sheffield United had been. They've lost so many games 2-1.
They were getting dubbed as the worst Premier League side in history at the start of the season, weren't they? Until they won a game eventually. But yeah, and you know you tend to look at the table and you think, wow, they're shit. They get dicked every week. But obviously that trend has stated they obviously don't. They've only scored more than twice in the league. So there's obviously a stat there that they obviously don't concede too many.
No, but I ran through it and there was multiple games where they'd lost 2-1. And as I say, with the 23 of 29 games Sheffield United would have won on that handicap of +2. I just loved it. I could be proved wrong. Liverpool could blast them away, but I thought once the numbers were in, I was like, well, there's no way that I can ignore the best part of
especially
an 80%
the way Liverpool
trend.
have been in recent weeks. They're very hit and miss at the moment. So if you were going to play that as well, they'd take a 2-1 all the way to the house, wouldn't they? A 2-1 win, and then Liverpool were happy, we're happy, everything's come in. Sheffield United aren't happy because they're going down, but we're laughing.
No. But I'd be happy. I strangely would like this a bit more if Liverpool were 1-0 up or 2-0 up after about 70 minutes. Preferably 1-0, but I would take Sheffield United being within a goal with 20 minutes to go, because you know that they then are going to go hell for leather. And whether that Liverpool backline can withstand that or not. The other thing worth noting in that game is, obviously, it's sad this morning that
Yeah.
it seems that Alisson's dad died. So whether he's going to play or not in that game, I think helps our chances. I don't want to be the one to profit from someone's misery, but, you know, it's an important piece. If they've got Kelleher in goal and a makeshift back line, which now doesn't include Henderson, I think that's where we get our value.
Yeah. Well, they haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 3.
No. But as I say, I don't want to be the person to profit from someone else's misery, but it's worth noting.
Yeah, I wouldn't see him playing, to be honest, but it's down to Liverpool and him, isn't it? We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, likely he's probably not going to play, which, like you said, works into your bet quite well. But yeah, we just don't know about that at this point.
No, but I also think I don't think we can underestimate the Henderson being out either as well, which makes a big difference because you're probably looking at Nat Phillips and the fellow who they got on loan from
really
Schalke.
Good at talking as well, according to the Liverpool fans. So they're obviously going to miss him. Yeah, chat shit.
Talking bollocks. Yeah, so that was my number 1 pick, and I think everything around it, I think it was the thing that jumped out at me and I liked the best.
So let's just hope for your sake, the top 2 teams from last season don't turn up and drub the others. But yeah, no, I like the pick as well, especially with the trend.
Right.
My number 1 pick.
And your number 1 pick.
I'm actually diving into the Bundesliga. So, Wolfsburg are actually flying at the moment and are currently 3rd in the league. And they're playing Hertha Berlin at home.
Right.
And Wolfsburg record at the moment, they're unbeaten at home all season. They're 1-6, drawn 4. The last 6 games have all been clean sheets, and they've won 5 out of those 6 games. And then you go into Hertha Berlin's side of things. No wins in the last 8, losing 6 of those. Their away record is 2 wins, 11 losses. No, 2 wins, 9 losses, sorry. Their last away win being in November. So they've won both of those at the start of the season. First away win was actually first day of the season. Second away win was in November. And they haven't scored. They've only scored 2 in their last 8 games. So going off that, again, going with the form side, Wolfsburg to win.
Yes.
And Hertha Berlin under 2 goals. Is my bet of the week.
Right.
Which is 20 over 23. So just under even money.
Well, we'll take that. So it was Wolfsburg and under 2 Hertha
so just
goals.
To go over it again, 6 clean sheets in a row for Wolfsburg, winning 5 of those. Hertha Berlin haven't scored 2 in 8 games, and their away record is atrocious. No wins in 8 away or at home, losing 6 of those, and their last away win being in November. It's all leading to a home win, and it looks like it's all leading to Hertha Berlin struggling and not scoring pretty much. But I didn't want to play under 1. Under 2, you still get good value with the Wolfsburg win.
Well, that's a very professional handicap, if I do say so myself. I do like that an awful lot, actually. Well, I think we've definitely got 3 of your picks in there. In what's going to go out, definitely the Lazio one, the Posh and Napoli one, and that Wolfsburg one right there.
Yeah, maybe
definitely.
Maybe avoid the Newcastle one, just with your stating, just until, like you said, the game and the squads are out. But that was my fourth pick. I do like the West Brom Brighton one with the under goals and a card each side. But yeah, the only thing with those ones,
I agree. I like that.
Like we found out midweek, and the Palace game that we posted on the Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
With those ones, the only reason they're not as high up on the list as what my other ones are, say the Newcastle game, you're actually waiting for 4 things to come in, as well as the West Brom Brighton game. You've got 3 things to come in.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going to take much to happen under 4 goals over 0 cards, but you could be sitting there like we were for the Palace game, thinking, fuck's sake, Palace, just get a card. Benteke, start wimbling when you score, something. Whereas the other...
Yeah. Well, like you said, Benteke's shirt should have been off. But, he should have been sliding in front of Graham
the
Potter.
Other ones, the Wolfsburg to beat Hertha and under 2 Hertha goals, you're waiting for 2 things, but they tie in together, as well as the posh Napoli.
Yeah, there's a nice correlation, isn't there?
You ain't got to fuck about with the cards. So it's just one of those. They're the only reason those Newcastle and the West Brom aren't as high as the other ones. But yeah, that's my thinking of the week. Hopefully, those picks. Go for it.
Right. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot. Which one of mine would you pick?
Just because of your confidence behind it, I'd go the Sheffield United one. Like I said, with the City one, I'm just scared of City, to be honest. As much as I like West Ham, West Ham and how David Moyes is getting on, I don't mind David Moyes at all. Like the West Ham side, love Jay Lings popping up with goals, but you just don't know when De Bruyne is going to score a few, etc., etc. Whereas the Sheffield United, you found a good trend.
No. Yeah, I think I agree with the West Ham one. The West Ham one is one that you're going to have to wait and play. You have to wait. You can't do it now because, again, you don't know what side City are going to put out, as you noted with your fantasy stuff. So if you're happy, then I think we officially are going to go with Lazio, the Posh and Napoli double, and to the 4% of our audience that listen in Texas, I believe it is, Napoli, Posh
Texas.
is Peter.
Big shout out.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Well, I looked at our analytics the other day and on the laptop, and I clicked into it, and like whatever it is, 4% of our listenership comes from the US or something like that. Say, and then I clicked into it, and 3 of that percent was Texas,
so we got Russell
and the
Wilson,
other one was like Seattle or something.
Okay, what's the QB's name wanting out? Houston. Deshaun Watson. He's passing his time at the moment.
Deshaun Watson.
Is JJ Watt still there?
Yeah, past his time listening to us.
He got released, but he keeps teasing everyone with his Instagram posts, doesn't he? I'm thinking Buffalo. By the looks of it, he's teasing. Just for the Texans fans out there, everyone from Texas, big shout-outs.
Yeah. Okay, so back on topic. We've got Lazio, Peterborough and Napoli as the double. We've got Wolfsburg to win and under 2 Hertha Berlin goals. And we have Sheffield United plus 2 are the 4 that we're going to put out.
Put out 5? Just because when you get 5, obviously, if you go 3 and 2, positive, everyone's happy. Whereas, say we go 2 and 2, I hope we go 4 and 0 if we were to put out 4. But if we were to go 2 and 2, that's then 50-50, isn't it? You're neither positive or negative.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. All right, so out of those 2 bets that you have, the 2 bet builders,
well, we can.
Which one is your favourite?
So you had something to say about the Newcastle game, and to and throw in depending on lineups. So we could play it safer and go West Brom Brighton.
Yeah. Well, I've scribbled out. I've discounted the West Ham Man City one. You've talked me off that.
We could.
So that's gone. That's.
We could leave it waiting.
You've definitely talked me off that one. When I went over
it earlier, as you didn't do anything for it, and go for the Everton Saints pick that I had. We could bump that up. I could handicap that now again, just quickly. Yeah.
The Monday night game.
That game, I remember you saying that you liked it. It was the bet was under 4 goals in the game, over 0 cards Everton, over 0 cards Southampton. Everton losing last 4 of the last 5 at home, including Fulham and Newcastle. Under 4 goals in that has happened 8 times out of 10 with the Everton home games, and 7 times out of 10 with Southampton games. Their last 6 away games, 6 out of 8 have been under. They've had over 0 cards 10 out of 10 times. And Everton, again, over 0 cards 10 out of 10 times. 13 in a row they've gone. So the over cards looks good. The under 4 goals looks good. So that could be our 5th.
Right, we'll go with that then because, like you say, I'm of my picks, I'm off West Ham. The Leeds Villa one, being that under that 60%, I liked it less, and that was my worst weighted pick. And the Norwich,
we could go
2 or more
goals. Norwich if you wanted to.
But no, I think I like your handicap on the Everton game on Monday night. I like that better than I like Norwich. I like that your handicap better than I like my handicap on Norwich.
Yeah.
I did prefer that one to the West Brom Brighton game because I could just fucking see Sam Allardyce kicking us in the bollocks.
You've got the trends as well for the Southampton game. Over 0 cards, 10 out of 10 Southampton. It's over 0 cards Everton 13 times in a row. You've got 2 trends there that look really good with it as well. So
yes. Yeah, I agree. I think that's definitely the 5th one to go out. And then obviously we've got that little sprinkle from Gav, which is, whatever you want to call it, a fish and chip bet, bar of chocolate bet.
Yeah, just
something to keep your eye out on for Friday. Gavin's pick was both teams to score in the Nottingham Forest derby game tomorrow night, and Knockhart and Figueiredo to be carded, and that as a bet builder or request a bet or whatever you want to call it is 18-1. Although, like I say, with it being such a long shot, I perhaps wouldn't be putting your normal unit stake on it. I would say maybe a quarter stake or,
Definitely, that's a nice little teasing one.
Keep your eye on bet, put it like that. Yeah, definitely. And then the 5 bets that we are going to put out.
Yeah.
So write these down so we don't have to keep texting each other all the time. We've got Lazio, Peterborough and Napoli double. Wolfsburg win and under 2 Hertha Berlin goals as a bet builder. We have Sheffield United +2 against Liverpool. And we have the Southampton bet builder against Everton on Monday night, which is under 4 goals and both sides.
Sounds good to me, mate. That sounds like a 5-0 week.
Cards. Yeah, let's not toot our own horns just yet. Yeah. We'll be coming on next week. We're like, fuck's sake, another 4-1. But yeah, no, I like our picks there, and I think that method.
Yeah, well, we've given everyone a little bit of something for the Premier League games, which is obviously what everyone pays the most attention to. We've drifted off for some of our picks into the Italian league, the Championship, League One. So you've got a fair bit of ammo again. We've put our 5 picks out there, but you can pick whatever you like, really, can't you? You don't have to go with our 5 picks. You can go with whatever we've said about today. This kind of
definitely.
If that's caught your eye or whatever, one of our stats or whatever, you can play that.
There's definitely enough information for people out there to make some
going over it for there not to be a bit of info for everyone.
Exactly. No, I also didn't sit at the kitchen table this morning doing the same thing for nothing. So, yeah. So just give out a shout out to your social media for all the people that want to follow you, because I will do our Fat Lads
Instagram is LiamDoe97 and Twitter is Liam_Doe97. Perfect. Thank you very much, mate. See you later.
Sweet. A quick reminder of our 5 picks for the week. We have Lazio to win, Peterborough and Napoli double, Wolfsburg to win with under 2 Hertha Berlin goals. We have Sheffield United +2, and we have Southampton and Everton with under 4 goals and over 0 cards for both teams. You can find us on Facebook by searching Fat Lad Sports. We are Gambling Corner 1 on Twitter and Fat_Lad_Sports on Instagram. And for any inquiries, send us an email at fatladsports@gmail.com. Talk to you next week.
Thanks for watching. Bye.